Hey guys, hope all is well. Welcome and welcome back. I hope that fan in the background isn't too loud, guys. Sorry about that, but these hot flashes are something serious. Anyway, today's message, and I think this probably has a lot to do with the oracles that kept coming up last week about removing yourself from people that don't serve your highest purpose anymore because they are so desperate now. People that vibrate at a low frequency, soulless beings, they are all influenced by the same entities, the same vampiric beings, and they move alike. It's like clockwork. It's like on a collective level, they do the same thing. And right now, they are really desperate to bind themselves to you. A lot of people are trying to destiny swap, energy swap out their bad energy and for somebody else. That is not going to work. One, the frequency on the planet is constantly going up. Now, Earth is the lowest. So a lot of these beings and people, if the frequency keeps going up on Earth, they are kind of screwed. So now Earth is the bottom. Earth is free will. Other places, other realms are not free will. So not only do they not vibrate enough to go, some of these beings, they are flat out banned from places. I mean, you just can't go to another, just can't go pull up to another realm or another planet. Like, hey, like we here, it doesn't work like that. It does here. It's free will here. That's why they're always fighting over it, over who's going to be in charge. But it doesn't work like that with other places. So, like if you see on TV, when they say that they went to another planet, just because they say they're going to another planet, it doesn't mean they went to another planet. So, anyway, the frequency is going to keep going up here. They're trying to, that can't be stopped. This cycle is closing out. I mean, they had their little 26,000 years. And of course, they don't want to give that up. But the cycle is closing down. That can't be stopped. So what they are trying to do and what they think they can do is attach those themselves to higher vibing people, star seeds, and light workers. People actually think they can lower these people's frequency and swap out their destiny for theirs. Here's the thing. If a person hadn't done the work, you are not getting a new start. I mean, Earth is the lowest. If you can't evolve beyond that toxicity on the lowest plane of existence, you're not being elevated to anywhere else. Because a lot of these people, they have been stuck in the same karmic cycle for hundreds of years, some people even thousands of years. You just keep repeating. That's why everyone who vibrates on a low frequency, or the top few percent here, that's one of those beings, but that's a whole other story. But they spend their entire incarnation on Earth taking from others, taking energy from others because they can't produce anything themselves. And we're getting to a point where if you can't go within, you will go without. And I'm going to kind of give you some examples on that. But they are trying to desperately, that's why a lot of people are trying to come back in your energy. Karmic people, family members, people that you've already split with. It's so many setups going on, and they think you have a lot of families that think that they are so obsessed with that one star seed in the family. They thinking if they can't latch on and get their energy, that they can sacrifice them, and then that way they'll get a new start. That's not happening either. You do the work, you get the new start. This new cycle, everything is based on your frequency, your chakra system, and your level of consciousness. That's pretty much interwoven. You have to be living from your heart space, which means your level of consciousness has to be just over the heart center. Now, when a person, because a lot of these karmics, they haven't healed old wounds. Those old wounds are sitting in their lower chakras. Number one, if you still have blockages and unhealed wounds in your lower chakras, you're going to have a much lower level of consciousness. That's why people who are healed and happy and love themselves and live from their heart space, they don't think anything like a person who is toxic and just sits around and does spell work on people. They don't think the same. They're different beings, because once you heal those chakras, that raises your level of consciousness. So they think they could swap out destinies and still have that low vibing energy, which they're still going to have, and still have that toxic low consciousness that lowers your frequency anyway. All the negative thinking, that lowers your frequency. That's not, you can't take that from somebody else. It either you did the work and you vibrate higher, or you're not. But they still think that they can. So just be really, really careful with people out here now, because the more it goes up, and I've said it before, and it keeps getting worse, you're going to see people become more, I hate to put it like this, but animalistic. That's why it was a hint, the so-called zombie apocalypse, because these people are just going to be like walking zombies. That's how it's going to be. Now, where do I want to go next with this? Now, we all know about, well, most of us have heard about the Great Solar Flash. That's coming. We're in like the pre-energy of that now. Now, with the frequency going up here and that veil almost being gone, and this is what people don't realize. The people that are plotting on other people, that are taking from other people, and one thing, and it's something that's real heavy on this platform too, because I have seen it so many times, where people just take others people's content and pass it off as theirs. When it comes to all of this taken from others, even if it's things like that, that's unhealed wounds, lower frequency, lower level of consciousness, lower mindset, that's left behind energy. So all the people, all these thieves that's doing these things, I don't think they realize what they are manifesting, because when that flash happens, people who hadn't done the work, you're not going to make it. Now, you will have to go somewhere else and finish all this stuff out, but you're not going to New Earth. So the people who are consciously out here taking from others, you're not going. You're going to be stuck with what's left here. And when I say it's going to be nothing, now, by everybody, and that was kind of a setup too, because they have kind of laid this thing out so good, they're even openly bragging that they control that the way humanity thinks. And to a certain degree they have, because everybody's doing the same thing now. It's like everybody's just watching the other person, creating competition where they're in. Everybody sees something, or they want to outdo it. They have to do this, or they want what they have. Only problem with that is they kind of needed everybody. That was subconscious programming that happened over time. They needed a lot of people in that energy because it created some nastiness, and these people are going to have to sit in it. That taken from people, you have something over you that is about to take from them. Well, they have something over them that's about to take from them. Now, let me say this first. That flash is happening. When that flash happens, that's going to touch this grid. Okay? The grid is going to go down. But on top of that, let me see, I got a couple of notes, yeah. But it's also important to note that, because you know sometimes they like to, don't know if it'd be allowed, or it might, I don't know. But it's just good to know, because it's something that could happen. because they like to try to make it seem like they did everything. In the U.S., there are 18 key transformer points for the grid. Now, if at least 9 of those transformer points were taken out, that's going to bring the grid down too. And that can have the grid down anywhere from 18 months to like 6 years. So looking at people having no internet access and no electricity for possibly months or years. Now, for a few years now, I've been having these visions. When I first started the channel, I was talking about that last year, especially the one with no food and no gas, because I had been seeing that one for a while. And I also saw the one where there would be another pandemic, but this time everything would be closed. And I kept hearing no food, no gas. So no surprise. No, I don't know why it's not that big of a deal, but for a couple of years now, utility plants, gas utility plants have been exploding all around the world. Actually, I think we had, hell, in one country, it wasn't in the U.S. They've been happening here in the U.S. too, because I think they just had one in Texas. But they had one in one country. It was like 2 of them within the same week, and they were saying that drones had started that. So there are all of, well, I was about to say, but all of these chemical utility companies are just exploding all over the world. With the food thing, we kind of saw that. What I mentioned before, I said that was just like a sneak peek of what was going to happen. That's why I did that video on getting a seed vault and reposted it like last month, because I still, that's something good to have, because we probably it's a chance going to experience some of this. But the people who did the work, the vibrating, everything is dependent on your frequency. So when that happens, because things can change in the blink of an eye, everything is going to be determined by your frequency. So if you're on that frequency, boom, that's higher timeline. That's why it's real important not to even focus on karmics, even thinking about the past too much or listening about karmics all the time and every day. That is kind of like energetically aligning you with the past, and that could keep you energetically connected to a lower timeline. And you do not want that, because it's weird how I knew they were going to do that. That's why I had, I'm not sure if I posted or I just did a video. I knew I talked about it on the video, is when they first accidentally created that strain of COVID that had an 80% kill rate. Thing about that, if you're on a lower frequency, because you're going to have a lot of new diseases and illnesses coming in. People that vibrate on a lower frequency are going to be affected by that. Now, I had visions where it was a lot of commotion, crowds around ATM machines, and I would see look like martial law coming up, but it'll always cut away before they got to the people. And the last 2 times I saw that, I tried to stretch it out to see what happened when, like, they look like military style, like what happened when they got to the people, but it always cut off. And I find it kind of weird that at least 27 states was that last week or the week before, the military was there, and a lot of them dropped off equipment. So they're already getting ready because they know what's happening. Let me see if there's anything. So I'm not sure what country. I'm in China. I know that hadn't exploded yet, but I mentioned before, I think all of this stuff is going to combust together. It kind of makes sense because I did a video on the 2 dreams I had on collective relocations. I was like, maybe that's why it was such a rush bustle. It was like weird relocations, but certain people were removed. That's why it's important, if you got it to move, just thank the ancestors. If you don't have money to move, go ahead and start getting ready, pack to move anyway. They're trying to move everybody around and get them where they need to be. Because these people that are doing all this taking right now, because they're going crazy with this, trying to take other people's energy. Only thing they have done is manifested a low timeline that's not going to have anything on it. Or it's going to be extremely limited. Do what you can to see. I don't have a problem with it. I cut people off for the quickest. I don't have a problem cutting people off and not letting them back in, because that's what I did. That's why they're so mad now. Who cares? But when I'm a Pisces, it takes a whole lot for me, for Pisces to get done. But once they're done, they are done. And number one, I'm not about to be stuck with you anyway, because I know what's about to happen to you. So like I said, that's why it's important. Do not let these people bait you in. Don't put too much focus on them, because I like how Brother Panic used the example, like when you're playing like Grand Theft Auto, the streets don't exist until you look down. Don't give these people too much of your energy. Listen about them too much, because energy, that's what they want. A lot of times they try to make you mad. They want you sad. They want you down, because they feed off of that energy. Don't give them anything. Let them starve. While they're taking from somebody else, you have something on top of them that's about to take from them too. And just like a lot of people, they are seeing like more than one sun. Now, one of those, that's a planetary body from the Sirius star system. It's Alanthea. And it's interesting that a lot of star seeds and chosen ones are from the Sirius star system. And it's getting closer and closer. It's about to be on. That's all I'm gonna say. It is about to be on. But things are going to get crazy. Keep your distance, but make sure you keep your frequency high. Make sure you're still cleansing anything in those lower chakras, the heart on down. Especially make sure that it's clear of any old stuff, any baggage. But the key is also I'll be talking about that more, probably record tonight for tomorrow. But about reprogramming the subconscious and the images that you impress upon your subconscious. The mind state, your consciousness right now is extremely important, because that is going to be your main key, especially your thoughts, your imagination, your visualizing, what you impress upon there, and what you affirm. Don't ask, affirm. Make your affirmations and put them out there like you already have it, to make sure you're on a higher timeline, because it's about to get wild. And like I said, these people that are doing all the stealing, overly focused on ruining other people, yeah, everything is about to get taken. So I think that's all for this one. If I forgot anything, I'll just let me double check. If I forgot anything, I'll just put it in the committee one. But y'all have a good one.